Stay put. Time 6:17.
All right, guys, I want to analyze a little bit about some scores that I had yesterday. I've been kind of wanting to go into this process a little bit, so I don't know how well this video will go because I'm recording it on my phone because practice score cannot be done on a computer for some reason. It's only on a mobile app, so or at least the practice score app that I use. So I want to go a little bit over something that I've been looking at and working on lately on my scores. So I shot a stage yesterday that and I'll post the video up on this for you guys so you can see it. But I made a video yesterday of, or ran a stage yesterday that I went, time was 6.17 seconds, 18 alphas, 6 Charlies, and my total hit factor was 17.50. So I went in and started looking at the practice score app to kind of see what I had for my practice score. Like just kind of mess with some numbers. So if I took one alpha away and I gave myself a full second more, but I gave myself an alpha, took a Charlie away. So now instead of 18 and 6, I went 19 and 5, and I took a second, added a second. So now it was a 15-3. So I want you guys to really pay attention to this. I have a 15-3 hit factor. I was a second slower to a 17 hit factor, and I was a second faster. So when I hear people talk about this all the time with accuracy versus speed, accuracy always matters. But if you sacrifice your speed for accuracy, you're not going to win matches. That's just the way it is. Now, if I go in here and I start adding more alphas, and let's see if I can do that. If I go back and I add, let me take away the Charlies and I add, so I'll give myself the 3 Charlies instead. So I have 3 Charlies total. Let's see. So now I gave myself the 717. So I'm at 15-8. All right. So pay attention to this, guys. I just gave myself 3 more Charlies. So 3 more alphas. I'm sorry. I gave myself 3 more alphas. I'm at a 15-8-9 is my hit factor. All right, I have 3 Charlies. Come down here, I have 6 Charlies. Now, let's go back and let's do this again. Let's give myself an all alpha run. Let's just kind of see what we have here because I'm even interested in this. I haven't done this yet, so let's see. Open review. Guys, I have an all alpha run at 717. Okay, all alphas, no Charlies. I still have a lower hit factor at 16.7 than I did with 6 Charlies, but a second faster. So speed really matters in this sport. You have got to be focusing on both things, speed and accuracy. It's a big thing. So again, I felt like I needed to show you guys this. I feel like this is something that's a big thing that what happens is as we get better, we forget that sometimes the accuracy is really important because we're starting to go faster. But in this specific stage, which happened to be a pretty close stage, and I actually probably would have slowed down a little bit more on this stage if I was shooting a major match because there was only really one position, and I'll point it out. There was only one position in the video, and I'll point that out to you guys, that I kind of wish I would have slowed down just a little bit just to make sure I had an alpha there. I had a Charlie alpha. So I was a little frustrated with that. And the Charlies that I had were really, really close Charlies. I only had one real Charlie, and that was the entry on my last position that I made a mistake on. That I entered too fast. I came in too hot, and that's what caused me a Charlie alpha. And then my Charlies that I got were right on the edge of the alpha. There was almost nothing was outside of that A zone area. It was just right on the edge, just enough not to get it. So I was close, but I was just pulling the trigger a little bit sooner than I should have on those transitions. But all right, guys, I just felt that this was an interesting post, and I figured I would send this out to you guys and kind of show you some of the things that I think about after a match. This is one of the things, I don't do a lot of this, but it's things that I think about a lot. So it was kind of good to go back and look at my scores compared to my time, my hits versus my time. I mean, I gave myself a second off, so to guarantee alphas, right? I mean, let's just say I took a second off to guarantee alphas, and I still wouldn't have beat my hit factor. So that just kind of shows you guys how important speed is in this sport, and it's time divided by points. You got to remember that, or points divided by time. You have to remember that when you're shooting these stages, that you got to go. You can't sit back and be an alpha shooter on every stage. If you shoot a half a second faster per target, but you get a Charlie, you're probably going to win. Now, minor is a little bit different. Again, guys, this is minor scoring factor. This is carry optics. I'm not shooting major. So I'm shooting minor scoring factor. So again, 17.5 compared to a 16.7 all alpha run, but a second faster changes my hit factor tremendously. So, all right, guys, I'll see you on the range.
Stand by. Range, it's range, time, 6, 1, 7.